This is arguably the hardest place to buy a home in San Mateo County. While other cities can be challenging because of price, Redwood Shores is such a hard place to buy in because this is what I'd call a forever home community. People buy and then they just don't leave. Less than 1% of the homes in Redwood Shores turn over every year, which is insanely low, especially when you compare to, say, Burlingame, which has triple the number of sales per year as Redwood Shores, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So don't worry, even though it can be a little hard to buy a home here, it's totally not impossible. So if you're searching for modern construction, open floor plans, and perhaps a waterfront view, Redwood Shores should probably be towards the top of your list. There's so many neighborhoods in Redwood Shores and it's all master planned, very high tree density. It's just, look around here. It is so relaxing and green and quiet. It's hard not to love it here. I'm gonna show you what makes the Redwood Shores lifestyle so special, what the real estate market is like here, and give you everything that you need to know as you consider whether it makes sense to buy a home here. To see more of what it's like living in San Mateo County, come back here every Monday at 5 p.m. So let me give you an idea of a few different neighborhoods in Redwood Shores. So right now we are way out on the easternmost part of Redwood Shores in what's called kind of the general Shearwater area. And I like this, but check this out over here. We have a really wide community park basically. I mean, it's not like there's play structures and all that, but you know, a little walking path area, which is nice. We have some benches. And then if we kind of keep going over here, let's just take a look at this house, for example. You know, I'm not sure the exact specs on this house, but if I had to guess, it's probably a 4-bedroom, probably 22 to 2,400 square feet. Value on that probably gonna be mid-2s to higher $2 million range. And let's just kind of take a look down here, for example. This is gonna give you an idea of like what a typical street is like in Redwood Shores. This is actually a cute little cul-de-sac. And this is called Sea Light here. And you can kind of see at the end, it just kind of opens up. It is really pretty. And I like the nice thing in Redwood Shores is you have 2-car garages that are attached. So if you're looking to buy west of 101, you could be spending $5 million and not even be getting a 2-car attached garage. Like in my house in Burlingame, we've got a 1-car attached garage, which I'm very grateful for and I love, but I certainly wish I could have more space for all of my stuff, my Kirkland toilet paper. Don't tell me you don't have that. Everyone does. So it's just kind of nice. You get all this space here. Let's take a look at this house, for example. Probably identical floor plan, and that's kind of the nice thing at Redwood Shores. You see this in Foster City too, but you get these really awesome floor plans. Sometimes you'll even get washer and dryer, like little laundry room on the 2nd level, or sometimes there's a mud room right in the back of the garage. And so the floor plan on these homes, pretty much in Redwood Shores, because it's a little bit newer than Foster City. So you're just getting more of what people want. You're getting usually high ceilings, views from kind of the kitchen, living area into the backyard. Sometimes we'll see kind of the sunken living room thing, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that is pretty common. You can easily raise the floor if you wanted to kind of even out the whole house. But again, that's just a nit. You know, you can complain or have nits about any different type of houses, but I just think this is so relaxing here. Other neighborhoods that kind of come to mind on the peninsula might be San Mateo Park with this kind of tree density. But other than that, like, this is pretty unusual what we have here in Redwood Shores. So Redwood Shores pretty much has an equal number of single-family homes versus condos and townhomes. So we've got 2,200 single-family houses here, about 2,175 condos and townhomes. So kind of nicely balanced, which is really cool. I mean, I think if you look west of 101, you have certain neighborhoods where all single-family homes, and then certain neighborhoods where there's little townhome developments, and then condo and apartment developments. But here, because it's master planned, I feel like it's a really nice blend of what we have. So while we're walking around here in the neighborhood, it's important to share with you one completely crazy statistic. I think you're gonna find kind of mind-blowing. I mean, I did, and I love the stats. I mean, I was an econ major. What do you expect? So last year, there were 18 sales of single-family homes in Redwood Shores. So let me repeat that. That's crazy. Out of 2,200 houses, only 18 homes sold. There are 24 new listings the whole year, but you know, there could be something that came on the market in December that didn't close till January. So it's not like there were 6 that didn't sell. It's just that's what happened during the 12-month period that we're talking about. This year, there's only been 2 sales so far. So if you just kind of think about this, for example, let's compare it to Burlingame. Burlingame has 6,200 houses. Last year had 168 sales, which was the 2nd fewest number in history. Very low. Burlingame had about 2.7% of the homes there turned over per year. Last year in Redwood Shores, that was less than 1%. 0.7% of the inventory turned over. That is crazy. So if you're thinking about buying a home here, all that means, like for you as a buyer and for me, like as a buyer's agent, it just means if you see something you like, just move fairly quickly. Like take that seriously. So if you're up in Tahoe for the weekend and enjoy Tahoe, but if a cool place pops up in Redwood Shores, you should be hustling down here to see it so you don't miss it. So So for condos last year, there were just 15 sales, which is again totally crazy. With the lowest price last year of $730,000 and the highest sales price was $1,730,000. And then for townhomes last year, there were 22 sales with the lowest price of $998,000 and the highest townhome sale was about $2.2 million. So what's cool about Redwood Shores is we have a huge diversity from a pricing standpoint. I guess huge diversity, you know, in air quotes here, I mean, this is not inexpensive, but compared to other towns, you kind of, you know, some areas like Bay Meadows, for example, in San Mateo, you're gonna kind of have a lot of townhomes in there. But there's not really condos and there's only a couple dozen single family homes. But in the rest of these areas, you have very little diversity in terms of price point. And I feel like in Redwood Shores, this community really kind of captures that compared to other places. Like for example, here, look at this really cute house. You have kids' bikes over there. You've got some colorful chairs out front. I mean, these houses are just beautiful when you look at them. Continuing on my theme of nature and greenery and outdoor space in Redwood Shores, and just because it's master planned, there's so much water out here. Like, let's just take a look over here. You've got this whole waterway that goes through here. We have, like real, there's some, oh my God, look, it's flying right up there. I'm not sure what kind of bird that is. Maybe it's an egret or swan. I'm not sure. If you guys watching and you know what it is, put it in the comments. But if we take a look down here, we've got all these homes along the waterway here. And then this kind of connects all the way out to the bay. So if you kind of look over here, this is eastward. And you can kind of see this huge like utility pole radio thing, whatever that is. And then over there you have the Bay Trail. And that kind of, you can see there's a couple people kind of in the distance walking around the edge there. The Bay Trail goes for about 5 miles just around the perimeter of Redwood Shores. And if you're into walking or riding your bike or teaching your kids, like, you know, this is a good spot to ride your bike and to learn. This is fantastic. I love riding my bike all the time from Burlingame all the way down to Redwood Shores and then back. It's about kind of 12 miles to kind of do that whole thing and going down through Foster City, the levee. It's totally beautiful. And you don't even have to get on there's no stop signs, there are no stoplights, and you just go and it's beautiful. Do you live in Redwood Shores?
I do.
Okay, what do you love about it?
I love that it's quiet, great walking paths. My neighbors are really nice. Schools are great. I mean, look at today.
I know, we are so lucky.
Yeah, this is pretty much it most of the day. Maybe a few more people during the weekend, but not.
It's always quiet out here, right? And it's crazy, we're only a couple miles from 101, but it just feels like you could be on your own island to me, but.
Yeah.
If you aren't visiting someone, there's really no reason to come all the way in. Yeah, like all the stores are near 101, so you would go and do your business. Unless you're visiting someone and you live here, there's no reason to come in and circulate.
Well, thanks for chatting with me.
Oh, sure.
See ya. That is fun. I just love, like, you know, these things aren't planned when we run into people, and if you smile and people see the camera, hey, like, why not? Let's have the conversation. But if we kind of continue over here, this is again the Bay Trail, and because it just rained yesterday, it was like even 5 minutes of hail. It was totally crazy. There's no smog right now, and so I'm looking out here right now. I can see Mount Diablo all the way in the distance, completely across the bay. If you were here right now, you would be like, oh my God, this is so gorgeous. So the trail, you can kind of see it just goes all the way around the perimeter. Take a look down there, and that's just kind of loops all the way around. That's kind of facing north. And then if you kind of continue looking to your left, you can see another cute little neighborhood. There's no white picket fences here, but it's basically like that, almost perfect. So in Redwood Shores, because it's east of 101, it actually was all part of the bay at one point. Leslie Salt Company was here originally, well, not originally, but they were here for a while, and then Redwood Shores was developed. And so all of this land is highly engineered compacted fill. So there's always a little bit of a threat of liquefaction when you build an area where there's a little bit more water. Same with Foster City. And then there are some neighborhoods and specific spots west of 101 where there's also higher liquefaction risk. Sadly, you know, I kind of feel like it's pick the natural disaster or pick the thing that you're okay being exposed to, because you could be up in the hills and there could be fire. You could be out here where you kind of think about sea level rise and all that. Foster City has done a stellar job building a levee all around the city. We'll see if Redwood Shores gets to that eventually. So when I kind of think about Redwood Shores and sea level rise and all that, you know, you'll have to do your own homework and make your own decision there. But because it's on the bay, there is the Marine Science Institute, which is super cool. You'll have to check it out. Many people aren't aware of it. It's very popular for summer camp. Our son went there a few years ago and he had a blast out there. So if you think you might want to live in an area like Redwood Shores, it's absolutely not impossible. I've represented many buyers out here. Give me a shout, happy to chat with you. So Redwood Shores has 7 public parks. There's not really private parks here, but I don't know if there's private parks anywhere. So what am I talking about? I don't know. But anyways, we have 7 public parks here and the whole area just feels like it's a park. So some of the top parks here are gonna be Dolphin Park, which has grassy area, picnic tables, very popular for kids, tennis courts. There's Mariner Park. This is the spot where you see a lot of concerts and movie nights. Marlin Park, which has baseball diamonds, soccer, basketball courts, tennis, pickleball, a little playground. There's Preserve Park, which has some cool hiking trails, picnic tables, tennis courts, and that's kind of connected to some different pathways. There's Sandpiper Park, which is baseball, basketball, and soccer. Shannon Park, which is a grassy area and playground. Shorebird Park, which has tennis courts. And then there's the Shores Dog Park, which is completely fenced in and great spot for off-leash dogs running around. We have a little golden doodle. Welcome to the club, I guess, in the Bay Area with the designer dogs, but it's just a great place to go and take your dog after work. Redwood Shores also has one of the best workout facilities on the whole peninsula. It is home of the Bay Club. It has about a 15,000 square foot indoor workout area. There's swimming pools. We've been in different parties there over the years. They have a snack bar, restaurant, indoor tennis courts, outdoor tennis courts, basketball. Bay Club recently expanded into Burlingame. They took over an indoor tennis center there right off 101 freeway. So Bay Club is a pretty cool place, and it's nice that it's right in Redwood Shores. And it's not just for people in Redwood Shores. We see people up and down the peninsula come here to work out. So we're just kind of cruising around and there's so many of these beautiful waterways throughout Redwood Shores. Take a look at this. I love this because this is all man-made in here, right? This is all water from the bay, but it's pretty calm in here. It's starting to get a little windy in the afternoon because it's about 4 p.m. But you've got all these beautiful townhomes over here that people own. And then just over here where I'm looking now, these are all apartments that you can rent. And there's kind of walking paths on both sides of the water here. So that's kind of the nice thing about Redwood Shores is, you've already seen this for the last few minutes, but you kind of see this throughout all the different neighborhoods that are here. So Redwood Shores doesn't have a formal downtown. Redwood Shores is actually formerly part of Redwood City, but there is one shopping area just right off the freeway where you can kind of go get your groceries. There's a Nob Hill Foods. It's kind of where the Bay Club is. We do have some major employers here in Redwood Shores that we have Oracle, we have Electronic Arts, and then a few other bigger ones. But what's nice about Redwood Shores is that kind of office parky area. It's just kind of in the northwest side of town, and we do have 2 exits right off of 101, which kind of makes it pretty good access to get in and out of Redwood Shores. Redwood Shores has over 200 acres of lagoons, kind of like what you see here. And if you're into sailing or windsurfing, this is kind of a good spot to be. The other good one is east of 101 off of 3rd Avenue in San Mateo, out at Seal Point Park. That's super popular. But in Redwood Shores, if you're wanting to learn, you go to Spinnaker Sailing in Redwood Shores. I actually went there when I was a kid, and that's where I learned to sail. I'm not a very good sailor, but it was kind of a good skill to learn. Hey guys, let's check out these geese here. Well, they're not too friendly. They already know everything about Redwood Shores. So Redwood Shores has 12 different neighborhoods, and then within each neighborhood, there's kind of like these sub-neighborhoods or complexes. And so Redwood Shores was developed over a period of time, of course, and different developers developed different parts of the community at different points. Can you tell us, what do you love about Redwood Shores? You get to play ping pong in your garage.
Right on the water.
You live on the water.
It's great. A lot of walking areas. Walking areas. Probably close to the big city and close to the airport and the scenery. Very nice. It's a family community.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for chatting with me. Sure. Good luck in your game. That is cool. Ping pong in the garage. Life is good on a weekday. So of those 12 neighborhoods, just to kind of give you an idea, Beacon Shores, Boardwalk, Dolphin Park, Lighthouse Cove, Marlin Park, Pelican Cove, Peninsula Landing, Ralston Landing, kind of Seabridge, Ponderosa, Shearwater, which is kind of where we were earlier, Shorebird Solar and Marina Point, and then Sunrise. So we've got all these little different pockets, and stay tuned. Eventually, we're gonna do a video on all the complexes that are here in Redwood Shores to give you a really good idea of what they're all like, but we can't do that in this video just because there's a lot going on. So what makes Redwood Shores so popular? As we were hearing from the ladies playing ping pong, you get a little bit of everyone. It's kind of cool. You see, it's really a good microcosm of society because you see people of all different ages and backgrounds who live out here. You have elementary schools. There's no middle school or high school. High school here would be Carlmont, which is in Belmont. There's just not enough density to support much bigger schools from that perspective. So if you're thinking about buying here and you want your kids to be able to walk to elementary school, middle school, and high school, Redwood Shores is not going to check that box, and it is what it is. is, but if you have to hop in your car and drive 5 or 10 minutes, you know, it's not the end of the world. You just basically pop across 101. You don't have to get on 101, but just go across. You can easily get over to Belmont and San Carlos and kind of access everything there that you might want. So why do people love it here? Well, we're centrally located, so we're kind of a little bit more towards the South Bay than San Francisco. So if you work in San Francisco 3-4 days a week, you know, I'd say Redwood Shores probably not going to be ideal, but if you head down south, Apple, Google, Adobe, any of the bigger tech companies down south, Redwood Shores is going to be the top of a lot of people's lists, especially when you're kind of looking at Palo Alto, Atherton, Menlo Park. Those are just so expensive. So here, you can buy a home for $2 to $3 million or a townhome sub 2. That's pretty attractive in my opinion. So if you're thinking about making a move to Redwood Shores or within Redwood Shores, I'd love to be your Peninsula real estate resource of choice. So give me a call, shoot me an email, text, whatever it is, able to help you out. If you're curious to learn a little bit more about some of our local downtowns, check out this video or this one. See you guys in the next one.